Not the same words, because we have nearly all selection available. Mostly we miss 5 players, we miss 10. Now we don't miss a lot, which is going to be a nice choice, because if you have to pick up 18 players, with the number we have and with the players we have, a few will be out of selection. But that's also the quality of a team. That means that you have a good bench and eventually even a few good players in the tribune, because yeah, you have plenty. On the other side, preparation, yeah, we start really today because Olympic players came back, and we'll see in which shape they are and how fresh or how good they are after their good win in the last game. It's a part of 2 targets. I think we succeeded good in the targets we had before. That means President's Cup and Etisalat, to qualify as quick as possible. Now the next target is 2 games of the league. I think very important to stay in touch or eventually come back. But that means we need to win those games, and we know how difficult it will be. Even we will try to play to win. So this is not a problem. But the next games are part of the target to stay close in the league and to be ready for the final sprint, because it will be after those 2 games. Yeah, the choice is in function of the quality, also what they show in the last 2 trainings. I have always, for me it's important how they do on training, because you see how sharp they are, how concentrated they are, how good they are. Mostly you can have a bad day, but you cannot not have a bad period, and so it's always for me important that they show quality and concentration, motivation already on the training, to see how far they are. Second, you make choice in function of your team, for the balance of your team, for the quality of your team, for the compensation you eventually need, one more offensive, one more defensive, and then also you take care of the opponent, not to adapt to the opponent, but to play better. And this, or for this, you can sometimes choose other profile, other style of players, and means can be a big tall one or can be a little quick one. So this brings you to all of these choices to make. But it's interesting to do it. Hopefully we do the good choice, but this you never know before.
Okay, coach, there is 2 questions. The first question is the effect of Sharjah club. They took out the coach Jazira and bring back
the old coach.
Yeah, the old coach. وشو سؤالك الثاني؟
إن ده هيأثر على المباراة يعني.
Is this will affect the match?
Affect, I don't think, because it's the team playing, but it's of course always a mental change, and if they do that, they hope also always positive reaction, and in the most of the things you can expect that. On the other side, if the old coach is taking over, he knows the players, he knows the team, he knows the good and the working points, he knows the competition. So this is for sure a good thing if you change coach, that he knows everything about the team. So yes, for me, I expect a positive reaction for them. First, I say if I expect a positive reaction, it is not because of the coach who's gone. It is always a problem, and it's second time when we play against them. Now it's before we play. Last time it was after we play. So we maybe don't bring a lot of luck.
Sharjah was lucky at the last game in the first round. He make draw at the last minute. How can you plan to break this luck of Sharjah in this game?
You break it with quality and with being much better, because luck can decide about a game. But if you are much better, if you bring much more quality, it will not make the difference. Luck is sometimes, of course, you have 5 chances, you miss everything, they have 1 and they score. But normally you can control this, and when the difference is small, luck can help, or you can force a little bit of luck. So that's why we will have to be busy with our quality and try to be better, till much better than them. so that luck cannot influence the game. We play game by game, and we'll see. If they are there, we have to use them. But youth can also be part of the team on the bench to start. We'll see. Next week, I think they're gone again.
Yes.
Next week, gone.
Yeah, that's why I'm asking.
Yeah, but I'm not gonna play with that. I'm gonna play with who's the best on this moment and what do we need. So that's where we're gonna look at. I told you already. For me, it's not important who's playing. And next week, no, not better. Maybe today better. We think better, but it can be worse. Because he can have a very bad game. He can have, and next week he can have a very good. So for me, this is not important. The importance is how do the team play the team. And then this week they can be with Sabil, the other one with Masoud, and then with Musa, and then with Bashir, and then maybe with other ones. That's again the quality, and you win championship with not with 11 players, and not with the 11 best players, but with the best 11. You understand the difference?
Yeah, yeah.
So that's for me the most important. Not the 11 best players, no, the best 11.
What's their names?
There's no name, it's one team. There's only one name, Al Jazira. The strategy is always the same. I mean, we play with two targets. First is result, second is the way. Because every coach, we always want to play good, so also play for the people, for the not for the show, you see, but we want to show something. And this is the most important for me. The strategy is always the same. That means you try to play as much as possible offensive football, but you know how important defense is in modern football. You know how important it is to have a block to play and not to play, I mean, with open spaces, stupid against a team who wants to counter. So this is always the same strategy every game, and then with this you try to make the best results. But it has always to be, I mean, at least for me, what you have in mind. So I like to win, but if I win and play bad, I don't feel very good, because next time maybe I will not win. So this is strategy, and then one game it's more like this, more like that. But for me, I prefer to have a general way to play, and this brings you to the two targets I said in the beginning.
You saw a lot of games for Sharjah. How can you see this team? It's difficult team, offensive or defensive. What's his dangerous
Yes, it's
points?
difficult team. I think strongest point are on offensive side. They have also a few players, good kicks, good free kicks, good counter, good speed. They took also new players with a lot of, I call it a lot of volume, a lot of running. And there are others, they make compensation. They have also, of course, a few problems maybe with players can play and cannot play. But if they are in semi-final, even luck or not, and they showed already before that some teams they can have or can bring in difficulties. So for me, it's a good team, especially on offensive side.
Coach, tomorrow Al Ain will play against Al Wahda. Do you think the result of Al Ain and Al Wahda will affect psychology in the player or on your strategy?
I hope not, because I always say that they don't have to be busy with the other ones. You can only look to the other ones when you do good yourself. So for us, you cannot stay for me with the result of opponent, even if he won. And why should you tremble? Why should you be afraid? Because opponent won and you have to play a game. You don't have to think to that. You have to think, what do I have to do the day after tomorrow? And Al Ain or Al Wahda will not influence that. They can influence the ranking, but they cannot influence our performance. If they do, that means our players are not concentrated how they have to do, or are not busy with their task as they have to.
He's speaking about the transfer window. You spoke before the transfer window that you gave the board members the names, the local names, and you are looking forward to sign with them. But the transfer window closed, and you only sign with Ali Abbas.
So it is clear, we have one new player, we lost two. Two players were going.
Yes, Alawi and
Yes, so that's where it stops. and we are now. It's clear, so it's good for everybody to know that they are here till the end of the season, and that's where we have to do it. You can have some wishes, some questions, but if you are not sure that what you can get is better, you don't have to change.
You mentioned a couple of questions ago that you say that after the next 2 games it's the final sprint for the title. I mean, just looking at the stats, you're obviously the top goal scorers in the Pro League, but you have the 7th worst defence. You know, you're planning on changing your strategy when it gets into the business end of the season, when titles are won. Are you planning on changing your strategy in order to win more games and become a lot tighter defensively?
Yeah, it's maybe not changing strategy, because this is for me is one line. What you can do is change profile. I call it profile. I don't know if it's the right word.
Change players.
Change players, because you choose for more defensive, or you will maybe put one forward less. I mean, but what's a forward? You can play midfield player there, a little bit higher. This for sure. I think also we will need that. So yes, probably.
Does it worry you? You know, the fact
No, because we know what we have, and we know also what we don't have. But I always start from the positive thing, so I don't complain about what I don't have. I'm happy with what I have, and I try to take everything out of that. So we will do that.
Coach, the last match, Sultan Balkh
understood.
scored hat-trick.
So you ask if it's only for Etisalat.
Yes.
Maybe semi-final and final, okay. It is both. It is first interesting that he plays, that he can play, and second is important he showed he's efficient. I call it efficient, because for me football is of course a show and is nice, but has to be efficient for the team. If you score 3 goals, if you give 1 assist, or if you work hard for the team, it is, and he showed that. So that means the coach is aware of that, and he's following up the player, and this he has to confirm. And of course you have to give him the opportunity to do that. If it's next game or within 2 games, we'll see. But that's what you expect from such a player, and that's what you like. So it's good to say he had a very good performance. But we'll need him for sure. This we know, and we'll see in the future when it will be.
You mentioned a few weeks ago that you felt there was 5 or 6 teams that could win the league. It's now 3 teams. There's obviously Alain, Al Nassr and yourselves, 4 points between. Do you think it is now between those 3 teams?
Depends. Maybe there's one more. I find yes, because it goes quick, and you see that everybody can lose points against everybody after we play nearly decisive games every week, because we have a very tough last part, except one maybe. So everything can happen, can go quick.
So what will it be that will win this league title? Will it be a strong defence? Will it be strong offence? I mean, what will be the defining factor in this title race?
The balance between both, because those who will offensive is always making the difference. But if you get every week 3 goals, you have a problem.